Okay. Now I'm in the right place. Cool. Okay. I was getting a lot of feedback. Five-second delay. Wish I had some way to. Audio? Audio? Gotta change something. Okay. I know what to do. Go to settings, advanced, and monitor off, and monitor off. See if that took that old janky noise out. I'm trying to get theme music up. just want to check my audio levels against this background. All right. If I can. Uh-oh. Excuse me. Yeah, that's so crazy. Canon camera here. And this thing back here. Alright. Hey. There we go. about that? Okay, guys, I'm just out here messing around this morning. Oh. Alright, guys. Hope y'all can bear with me. I'm still learning this software for this OBS and how to live stream. I want to do as good a job as possible for you guys, and I don't know how to monitor this stuff to see if I'm getting it out. So if y'all y'all detect, if anybody's out there watching, just detect whether or not and let me send in the comments whether I'm too loud, you can't see me, any of that kind of stuff, and help me get this stream in order. I'm going to call this the safety net stream. Uno momento. I have another YouTube channel. It's Middleclassbubba, but there's a space between class and Bubba, and on that I publish safety videos and some other videos, drone videos and things like that, and I post them. But I wanted to start this other channel so we could have a safety net, and I've not even decided what days that I'm going to do this on. Right now it's Saturday morning, just after 6 a.m. I figure I wouldn't be burning up too much bandwidth and wasting a whole lot of anybody's time while I try to get this together. But I got drivers coming in. I got a OSHA class going to be starting here probably in the next hour, so I'm not sure how long I'm going to do this this morning, but I'll monitor the comments after it. So it's y'all just bear with me while I try to do this stuff. Like, there's background music, and I don't know whether it's playing or not right now. I don't have any way to monitor it without getting feedback unless I put headphones in, and blah 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 blah. Anyway, I got a couple different cameras. I'm going to set some more up. Maybe I'll have guests eventually in here. This is a camera I just got, and then I've got this Canon 70D. I got to figure out a way to clean up these areas right here, and then these areas over here. I need to get all this stuff, figure out how to clean those things off, and in this focus box, I just need another camera with clean HDMI out. Anyway, and this is the Black Magic, and I'm running it through an ATEM Mini into OBS, and then from the OBS program I'm streaming out to you guys. So if anybody's got any technical advice, I'll take that as well. I'm just meandering through life, so to say. All right. I'm a safety guy. I'm also an operations manager, but operations manager just wouldn't have a job without our field support, and without our field support, without a safety program to protect our field support, none of us would have a job. So our most valuable resource is the people we have in the field, and they're humans. You know, if you take a look at trucking or the equipment we use, or the trucks or the heavy equipment, you know, we do certain things to take care of that equipment. We make sure that it's greased. We change the oil, take care of the brakes, the tires, broken glass, air filters. All these things we do to keep that equipment up and running so that we can do our work. Now let's take the human element. The human element is what makes the wheels turn, and if we're not taking care of those guys, and we lose somebody to an accident, or somebody's injured, it's expensive, number one, of course, but the human side of things. So productivity, everything's about safety. Higher productivity will come about with better safety practice, educating our guys, training them how to recognize hazards and how to mitigate those hazards while they're out there in the field, is good business. And that's why I make those videos, so it's just an additional resource. And these conversations, like I said, I'm not sure when I'm going to do these, whether I want to do them on Saturday mornings or Wednesday evenings or any other day of the week. I just hadn't decided. I may do them just occasionally, just to see if anybody has any interest in them, or they can go back and watch them or whatever, and then make comments, and maybe I'll put together a regularly scheduled time that convenient to reach the most people who might want to participate in this thing. And once again, this safety net is for anybody who has a question, and we can. I don't know how to do the group calls or the video conferences where people could call in with a Zoom or something like that and have face-to-faces, but they can also, but right for now, they can make comments, and I can read the comments and comment on what anybody that presents a question in the comments on this live stream. That's what I'd like to see happen at the beginning, and then maybe do some video chats with people, other guys in the field, supervisors want to have a video chat. We have the live chat and let other people look at it through the magic of YouTube live stream, and so that they can learn something. You know, from time to time I do live chats with guys out there in the field, phone calls, and sometimes we do face-to-face if they want to show me something they're not real sure about, and that's perfect, because if I don't know, we're going to find somebody who does, and then we're going to form the mastermind, and we're going to figure out the best solution for any challenge that's presented to us out there in the field. And that's kind of what the safety net live stream is for. So if you're out there, hit me up in the comments and we'll start a discussion. I told somebody later this week that I was going to talk about alibis. Uno momento. Now, you guys have seen and heard me talk about this book, Think and Grow Rich. Written by a gentleman called Napoleon Hill. He was commissioned by the late great Andrew Carnegie, wealthy industrialist, and he wanted to know or he wanted to show this guy. I'm not sure what the conversation was, but he wanted to know the key components, the thread, the single thread that ran through every successful individual of the time and in the past, at that time in the past, to see what those commonalities were for success. And I was talking about alibis, and I made a video on it. It's an old video, and of course I was inexperienced. Listen, I'm still inexperienced, and I'm doing the best I can. But back then it was even worse than it is today. So it's kind of interesting. But in here he talks about alibis and how easily people cling to their alibis. And let me see if I can find the notes on it. I meant to mark it and I didn't. But alibis. And there's a whole bunch of them. It's not a very big book. It's a small book, but man, it is packed full of helpful information. I'm looking for comments too, guys. It says it's in the very back. Here it is. It's called the 55 Famous Alibis by Old Men. If people who do not succeed have one distinguishing trait in common: they know all the reasons for failure and have what they believe to be an airtight alibi to explain away their own lack of achievement. Some of these alibis are pretty clever, and a few of them are justifiable by facts. But alibis cannot be used for money. The world wants to know only one thing: have you achieved success? Now, it doesn't necessarily have to be monetary success, but success at something. Trapping, fishing, photography. If you're successful in one of those, the money will come to provide you to follow your pursuit. A character analyst compiled a list of the most commonly used alibis. Now, I think this list is kind of light. I'm thinking about the Book of Excuses. It'd probably be about 4 or 5 times thicker than this thing, and it'd be a desk reference for those people who like to use excuses or alibis. You know, to go right next to the thesaurus in the dictionary, a handy reference document. That's one thing I'd like to write, perhaps one day, and see if I could sell that. With current conditions in this country, I'm sure it'd be a top seller. Now, I want to read these to you. Y'all forgive that daggum heat. I don't know what to do. It's the heater. I'm going to read this list for you. And as I read it, I want you to examine yourself carefully and determine how many of these traits, if any, are your own property. How many can you own? How many do you use? Remember, too, the philosophy presented in this book makes every one of these alibis obsolete. If I didn't have a wife and family, well, that's crazy, man. I think a wife and a family is one of the things that promotes most men to be successful. Unless they're ne'er-do-wells, you know, the guy who goes out for a pack of cigarettes and never comes back. If I had enough pull, you want influence without earning it, okay? If I had money, yeah, you know, in my time I was swept floor, changed tires, washed windows one time. I was poor. I found a bucket and a squeegee and went around to local storefronts and would wash their windows for cash money. So, if I only had money, if I had a good education, are you kidding me? With the internet, how can anybody claim they only had an education? You can find very specific knowledge. I was out of town and my wife called talking about her truck. Something was wrong with it. I said, well, what's it doing? What's it doing? I'm out of town. And so she went on the internet and started doing the work and found it was a mass air sensor. And she went and bought the part and repaired it. I've repaired dryers. I've repaired carburetors. I've repaired, man, there's no telling how many things I've done by going out and finding the specialized knowledge and educating myself to get the task done. If I could get a job, yeah, well, we talked about that, sweeping floors, cleaning windows, whatever it takes. Look, if you're out there and you're doing these things and you're a clean body, mind, spirit, and you're making an effort to generate an income to help you along, then people who recognize your ability to take initiative and to do something, you have a high value to them. Here's a story in a part of Atlanta that people claim is not very safe. So I go into this minute market to get a soda pop or whatever it was, and I'd stop there several times, and there'd always be people out there begging for money. And I do a lot of traveling. There's always people at the gas stations. I had a guy one time. I had an old beat up Buick, and I'm standing there and I'm fueling my tank, filling it up. Ding, 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 ding. And I watch this guy roll up in one of these brand new Escalades. Shiny, black, beautiful vehicle. Had the great big old wagon wheels, the shiny wheels. And he gets out of that thing. He comes up to me and says, hey, man, I need some gas money. You got any money you can spare? And I just kind of look at him. I said, I'm driving this and filling my tank, and you're driving that and ask me for money. And he just went, oh, you man, and he left. But back to the store. So I come out, and there's a gentleman out there, and he had a spray bottle, and it looked like glass cleaner in it. Man, you never know what's in that. And he had some wadded up newspaper, and I came out of the store, and he had cleaned my windshield for me. He did something. He took his effort. That wasn't a beggar. He wasn't a beggar. He was taking and giving a portion of his time by cleaning that window with expectation of something in return. I gave that dude money. I don't remember whatever money I had in my pocket, $2, $3, $4. I was broke back then. So if I only had a job, give me a break. If I only had good health. There are people out there with disabilities everywhere who make substantial livings using a talent that they have. They don't look at their broken back as something that holds them back. It's something they have to deal with in their life, like me and my hurting feet. Me and my aching back. Yeah, I could not get off the couch and say that, oh, my back hurts, I can't do nothing. And anyway, good health. If only I had time. If only I had time. Well, what are you busy doing? What I don't even know how to describe that. I would say learn to manage your time. I'm here at 5 o'clock this morning to get this thing going at 6 o'clock and piddling around, fooling around, and I don't have to do this. I could be laying in bed right now. Sometimes I'd love to have more than 4 or 5 hours of sleep at night, but instead I can get out and do something. If times were better, please. The only way times are going to get better if you make them better. The old Talmud, which is I believe it's the Jewish Bible, says, I think there's a quote in it that says, the world is not how it is, it's how you are. So there is no better time than right now to get started to pursue your desires and dreams. All it takes is you having the motivation, number one, to make it happen, an idea. Number two, determination, sticking with it, staying with it. When you don't feel like getting up in the morning, when you're tired and you've made a commitment to put out 2 videos a week, and you're already 30 hours into a work week and it's Tuesday, and you do it anyway. You do it anyway. And every time I do that, work through that, get through that, when I lay my head down on that pillow at night, I say, whew, man, I'm glad I got that done. I'm proud of that. So think about that. If times were better. If other people understood me. What is that supposed to mean? If other people understood me. That influences you, how you behave? What other people understood you? What? What? Come on, man, get out there. Do it. People's always going to talk bad about you. All these people got all these alibis right here. They're going to talk bad about you because they need an alibi to describe why they can't do it. They're going to pull you down because they're afraid you're going to make a success of yourself, and they'll have to go, I could have done that, and they don't want to live with that reality of their own failure. Forget that. If conditions around me were only better. Please. Poverty, Andrew Carnegie, the guy who commissioned this book, Henry Ford, please. If conditions around me were better, these guys came from the lowest places that you can come from and made success of themselves. It has nothing to do with your surrounding. It has everything to do with your desire. If I could live my life over again. Well, you can't. Now's the time to get started. Make it happen. I don't care if you're 60 years old or 16 or 32. Right now. Get on it and do it. If I did not fear what they would say. I believe we covered that a minute ago. You ought not be worried about what other people do as long as you live your life and respect others and respect their rights and pursue life, liberty, and happiness under your own God-given rights and under the Constitution of the United States. That flag behind me, that's what that guarantees. If I'd had been given a chance. I believe old Tom Jefferson once said that the harder I work, the luckier I get. You know, chances don't come floating by while you're watching Maury or Jerry Springer on the television set, or watching Oprah, or some of you, I believe, are still in the Teletub stages. But opportunities ain't going to come floating by you. Chances ain't going to come floating by you while you're sitting on your butt. You need to get out in the street. You need to get out there and interact with people, find those opportunities. They're everywhere. Every minute, every day, there's an opportunity. If now I had a chance, if other people didn't have it in for me, you're letting someone else's thoughts interfere with what you could achieve. They have power over you. You allow other people to have power over you, then you are their slave. And I thought slavery was outlawed or something. I'm not sure. I need a better definition. Somebody give me a comment. If nothing happens to stop me. Come on, boys and girls, we're racing. We're racing. There's always going to be obstacles, mud holes. There's going to be trenches. There's going to be valleys. There's going to be mountains. There's going to be oceans, literally and figuratively, that's going to stand in our way. You know, we have what they call an immigration problem in this country. Well, when I would look at these people, if I lived anywhere else on the face of the planet and I knew that I had the opportunity to get here, I can't say that there would be any mountain, ocean, desert that I wouldn't attempt to get to a place where we have the opportunity, like we do in this country, to pursue freely life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. Why, there's a lot of excuses. Look at all of them. It's gonna take a while. If I were only younger, we covered that already. If I could only do what I want, why can't you? Unless it's violating the rights of someone else, you certainly can't do that. Not under our form of government. If I'd been born rich, I refer back to Henry Ford. I refer back to Andrew Carnegie. Abraham Lincoln. All kinds of guys. If I could meet the right people. Now, you'll meet the right people if you get out there and get after it. You will meet the right people if you're engaged in something other than folly. You'll meet the right people. They'll get you where you want to be, as long as you're working hard. If I have the talent that some people have, we're only limited by things that we put in our own head. We're only limited by things that we put in our own head. You have the talent. You have the talent to find the specialized knowledge to get what you want. That's invalid. If I dare to assert myself, what are you going to do? Get fired? Is it worth your dignity? So what if you got some quirks? If you work hard and bring success to others, so what? If I'd only embraced past opportunities. As somebody told me, they said, you know, you're only going to get 2 opportunities in life. Is this your first one or your last one? Hey, take the opportunity that's in front of you. Another opportunity will present itself that may better benefit you. Don't dwell on the past. Look to the future. If people didn't get on my nerves, whoever said, people say that must not have been married very long or got children. Somebody's always on my dang nerves. if I let them get on my nerves. That don't stop me from doing what I need to do. If I didn't have to keep house and look after the children, if I didn't have to plow the field, if I didn't have to feed the chickens, if I didn't have to plant the garden, if I did, blah, 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 blah. If I could save some money. If the boss only appreciated me. If I only had someone to help me. If my family understood me. If I lived in a big city. If I could just get started. If I were only free. If I had the personality of some people. I'm just going to read through these. If I were not so fat. Doggone, I resemble that remark. If my talents were known. That one confuses me. If your talents were known. Are you exercising your talents for recognition? Are you just supposing you got talent? Anyway. If I could only get a break. I refer back to the previous comment about old Tom Jefferson. The harder we work, the luckier we get. If I could only get out of debt. If I hadn't failed. Man, failure is one of the best learning tools you could ever have. If I only knew how. Google it. If everybody didn't oppose me. Oh, bless your heart, you poor little baby. Just sit on the couch and watch Teletubbies. If I didn't have so many worries. I could marry the right person. If people weren't so dumb. If my family were not so extravagant. If I were sure of myself. Man, that's somewhere you need to practice. If luck were not against me. I refer back to Tom Jefferson. If I had not been born under the wrong star. If it were not true, what is to be will be. If I did not have to work so hard. If I hadn't lost my money. If I'd lived in a different neighborhood. If I didn't have a past. Past? What does that mean? I got a past. I'm 60 years old. I got all kinds of stuff. What's that got to do with right here, right now, and tomorrow? Anyway. If I'd only had a business of my own. If other people would just listen to me. If, and this is the greatest of all of them, if I had the courage to see myself as I really am, I would find out what is wrong with me and correct it. Then I might have a chance to profit from my mistakes and learn something from the experience of others. For I know there is something wrong with me, or I would now be where I would have been if I'd have spent more time analyzing my weaknesses and less time building alibis to cover them. Building alibis, which to explain away failure, is a national pastime. The habit is as old as the human race and is fatal to success. Now, why do people cling to their pet alibis? The answer is obvious. They defend their alibis because they create them. A man's alibi is the child of his own imagination. It is human nature to defend one's own brainchild. Building alibis is a deeply rooted habit. Habits are difficult to break, especially when they provide justification for something we do. Plato had this truth in mind when he said, "The first and best victory is to conquer self." To be conquered by self is, of all things, the most shameful and vile. Thank you, Plato. It has always been a mystery to me, said Elbert Hubbard, why people spend so much time deliberately fooling themselves by creating alibis to cover their weaknesses. If used differently, this same time would be sufficient to cure the weakness, and then no alibi would be needed. Now, in parting, says Napoleon, I would like to remind you that life is a checkerboard, and the player opposite you is time. If you hesitate before moving or neglect to move promptly, your men will be wiped off the board by time. You are playing against a partner who will not tolerate indecision. Now, previously you may have had a logical excuse for not having forced life to come through with whatever you ask, but that ability is now obsolete because you are in the possession of the master key that unlocks door to life's bountiful riches. The master key is intangible, but it is powerful. It is the privilege of creating in your own mind a burning desire for a definite form of riches. There is no penalty for the use of this key, but there is a price you must pay if you do not use it. The price is failure. There is a reward of stupendous proportions if you put the key to use. It is the satisfaction that comes to all who conquer self and force life to pay whatever is asked. The reward is worthy of your effort. Will you make the start and be convinced? If we are related, said the immortal Emerson, we shall meet. In closing, may I borrow this thought and say, if we are related, we have, through these pages, met. Now, anybody who knows me knows that I'm a Grateful Dead kind of guy. I'm probably a deadhead. I just had to let the hair grow out in a while because I lost a large percentage of it. There is a verse in one of their songs, and it talks about success cost a lot, but failure is far more expensive. Let that sink in. And I'll see if I can find that song and post it to you. All right, what time is it? It says I've been at this for 29 minutes. No comments. I'm I'm a YouTube success. I'm gonna knock it out of the park and make my fortune. But here's the thing. If one person watches this video and that one person picks up this book and that one person finds some modicum of success in their life, I'm successful. Over the years, at least 100 of these books I've distributed, given away. That's how important it is to me. That's over a, good Lord. I'm 59. I started when I was first read it at 25. Good Lord, boys and girls, that's a long time. Anyway, the point is through the years, I've had people reach out to me from way back that I somehow influenced them. Well, influenced them through this. And they've called me, and it was really nice to see that they had found their thing in life and been successful at it. Marvelous feeling. So that's why I do the safety videos. There's no killing in this stuff. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. I have success. It makes me fulfilled. I don't know what your idea of success is. Doesn't even matter to me. What matters is, does it matter to you? So, go out there and find your success. All right, I need to take a break. I will be All right, boys and girls. It's I hope I didn't. Anyway, just starting out with this stuff. I appreciate anybody who stopped in, and this will be posted on the on my YouTube, Middleclassbubba. I got some classes starting this morning, so I'm going to go ahead and conclude here. If and I'll try this again. I don't know when I'll do it. Maybe a couple in a week or two. If this comes to any success, listen. If you ever have any questions, you ever have any concerns, you can leave comments and I'll get back. I look at the comments all the time. And if you have a specific safety issues, safety concern, and this is for construction, you can post a comment here and I'll respond, or you can look at my other YouTube channel, which is Middleclassbubba, but it has a space between class and Bubba, and I've got several safety videos there on several different topics. A lot of guys use them for training in the field. They'll play the video and make a sign-in sheet reference in the video, and that satisfies the OSHA standard for continually training people for their potential safety hazards that they may run across in the field. But if you have a specific safety problem, you want to talk about it, I'll either make a video or we'll get together through chat or email or whatever we need to do, and we'll work through it and help you out any way I know how. If not, I'll find the resource for you. I've been in this safety business for a number of years, and I find it important. Anyway, take care of yourself now, because you're number one. Look out for the people around you and help ensure their safety. Most importantly, have a grateful day, and I will see you in the field. Thanks for watching. Have a beautiful day.